Andy was the youngest child in the McFadden household. When you have 6 other brothers and sisters to compete with, there are a couple of useful survival tricks to adapt. Whoever is first up is best dressed, and whoever eats the fastest gets the most. Sadly for Andy, he loved to lie on in his bed, and so he ended up getting to school hungry and a little late. One morning as Andy walked to school through town in the snow, he thought about the last boiled egg that he never got, and he wished that he had a warm overcoat. Andy began to feel the cold, and when he started to really shiver, he took some shelter in the doorway of a shop that he just happened to be passing by. The door of the shop opened up automatically, so Andy went inside. "Good morning, young man. Well now, is there something I can get for you?" said the shopkeeper from behind the counter. Sure, mister. How much is that warm coat there?" Andy replied as he shivered and shook inside the shop. "Well, for you it's £10, son," said the friendly man. Andy looked up at the shopkeeper, who smiled. "Okay, thanks anyway, mister." Andy turned to walk out of the shop, but was called back by the man, who said, "Listen, do me a favour and I'll let you have the coat for free." The shopkeeper went into the back room and returned with a large parcel in his hands. Andy was very intrigued and waited for what was coming next. The shopkeeper looked down at Andy and said, "Take this bone down to Mrs. Brown, the farmer's wife, and tell her it's for the dog I sold her last week. Can you do that for me?" "No problem," Andy replied. The man handed Andy the parcel. "All right then, and when you get back, I'll give you the coat." Andy ran all the way to Brown's farm and knocked on the door. He knocked, and he knocked, but there was no answer. So he shouted out as loud as he could, "Hello, is anybody home?" Mrs. Brown stuck her head out from the barn and shouted back, "Come over here, I'm milking the cows and I can't stop." Andy ran over and he handed the parcel to Mrs. Brown and said exactly what the shopkeeper told him. The farmer's wife called the dog and threw it the bone. Just what my dog loves. Thank you, son. Now here, take this cow back with you and give it to the shopkeeper. Tell him that this is the cow that I promised. Can you do that?" Andy was unsure, and he looked at the farmer's wife and said, "I've never actually gone cow walking before, Mrs. Brown. What do I have to do?" She pinned a spot of red cloth on Andy's back and told him if he walked ahead of the cow, it would follow him wherever he went. Andy made his way back to the village with Mrs. Brown's cow following close behind him. Along the way, he was met by an old man who offered him £10 for the cow. "It's not my cow to sell you," said Andy, and he continued his journey until he was back at the shop. He walked inside with the cow and told the shopkeeper what Mrs. Brown had said. The shopkeeper laughed and said, "Did you happen to speak to anyone on the way back to town?" There was an old man who offered me £10 for the cow," Andy replied. And the shopkeeper laughed and said, let me tell you something. You are the first person I've asked to do that job you have just done, and everyone except you has sold the cow for £10. So you are to be rewarded for your honesty now. So go, get your coat." "Oh, great. I can't wait till all my brothers and sisters see my new coat. They're going to go green with envy." Music rang from the coat when Andy lifted it from the rack. He was just about to try it on when the man said to him, "It's a magic coat, and no one can see it but you. And when you wear this coat, your life will never be the same again. If it's cold and raining around you, the world will become warm and sunny. When you are hungry, the pockets of the coat will provide you with food. Go on, try it on." Andy put on the coat. It fitted perfectly. He left the shop and went outside, where the sun was shining. Everyone who passed by looked cold, but Andy felt comfortable and warm in his new coat. The end.